Hi, I'm actor Ian Champion, and welcome to History of Horror Cinema, my personal podcast tour of the good, bad, and the ugly of horror movie history. If you like what you hear, please don't forget to hit subscribe. The Tower of the Seven Hunchbacks, 1944. While Hollywood was making hybrid genre films during World War II that mixed horror with mystery and crime elements, Spain produced one of its own with the strange and at times whimsical La Torre de los Siete Jorobados, The Tower of the Seven Hunchbacks in 1944. The director was Edgar Neville, a Spaniard but English on his father's side, who began his career in the arts in Madrid as part of Generation of 27. A radical loose collection of 20s avant-garde poets, including Federico Garcia Lorca, who wanted to bridge the gap between traditional poetry and new wave art movements like Cubism and Surrealism before dissolving post-World War II. Neville lived in Hollywood through the 1930s, benefiting from their pursuit of European audiences in a period where Spanish-language versions of homegrown hits were translated and reshot by a night shift crew concurrently with the English sets as they went along, for example in the Spanish version of 1931's Dracula by Universal, which I've covered in a previous episode. He was MGM's dialogue writer for their Spanish export iterations. After over a decade of making his own documentary shorts and screenplays back home, Tower was to be Neville's first feature film, and certainly bears the imprint of an experimental sensibility. It is not a horror film, and yet weaves some dark fantasy imagery into what is essentially a 19th century supernatural mystery story, based on the 1920 Gothic period novel by Emilio Carrera. Antonio Casal plays Basilio Beltran, a timid, good-hearted chap whose looks, if not his poverty, attract the ladies. One night he enjoys the nightclub act of his girlfriend, La Bella Medusa, Manolita Moran, who teases the punters with her song about a hyper-superstitious girl. Basilio recklessly decides to gamble his last chip on a roulette table, since he can't afford to treat his lady friend anyway, nor her greedy mother. Suddenly, a spectral figure appears and transforms his luckless life. Felix de Pomez makes a striking entrance as Dr. Robinson de Mantua, a character of macabre intrigue whose appearance could easily have graced an expressionist horror movie. Dressed as if for the opera, in cloak, top hat, and cane, he sports a splendidly menacing black monocle. Basilio is apparently the only one who can see him, which is fortuitous, as the enigmatic spirit points his cane at a sequence of roulette numbers, gradually turning the young man's famine to feast. De Pomez would go on to transfer his commanding presence to a number of American historical epics, such as The Pride and the Passion in 1957 and 1961's King of Kings. Introducing himself, Dr. Mantua belies his initially disturbing arrival, complimenting Basilio on his remarkable psychic imagination, a rare gift that enables him to see beings from the astral plane that no one else can. He is no random ghostly benefactor, though. The doctor needs a man of Basilio's open-minded goodness to protect his daughter Inez, played by his possible real-life daughter Isabel de Pomez. It emerges that Mantua was a renowned archaeologist rendered ectoplasmic due to murder, rather than the assumed suicide, and his niece may fall victim to hovering evil forces, involved with a mysterious tablet that refers to the Tower of the Seven Hunchbacks. From here, the story enters fanciful worlds that exist alongside and indeed under our own. When Dr. Mantua visits Basilio during a disturbed night's sleep, he isn't alone as a visitor from the spirit realm. There is a fun, surreal cameo from Jose Franco, who blithely wanders in as the spectre of Napoleon. He is used to regular night summons, especially when groups of 5 or more get together with an Ouija board. Basilio and policeman Martinez find themselves drawn into a bizarre subterranean city built by Jewish citizens of centuries past. A community that the sinister, balding Dr. Sabatino, Guillermo Marin, and his hunchbacked cronies will do anything to keep secret, even abducting Inez. Aside from the ornately furnished molded cave walls that comprise the tunnel network, the set design team of Francisco Escriñá, Pierre Schilt and Antonio Simont realize a brilliant spiral staircase seen twice in impressive mastershots. Basilio manages to rescue the imprisoned Inez, who at one point is hypnotized by Sabatino into an attempted bedroom stabbing of him, for which he is thankfully prepared. It is the scenes within the secret lair that hold the viewer's interest more than the mystery on offer. A strange visionary kingdom of indeterminate scale and such perverse attraction that Mantua's dotty former associate Dr. Zachariah, Antonio Riquelme, stumbled upon it and opted never to surface again, ensconcing himself cozily within its library instead. Once his daughter is saved from the underground domain, Dr. Mantua floats in to give his blessing to Basilio and Inez, completing the otherworldly feel of the film with an almost fairy tale ending, leaving us to wonder if we may have dreamt the whole thing. Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, please don't forget to hit subscribe.